they're in pistol now, not veer. Mesh point.
Adams throws it, got a man at the goal line. Touchdown, Titans! Titans win! Titans win! Heston takes it. Titans are your 2025 Class 3 champions.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to CoVA Sports TV with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. We are now delighted to be joined by the head football coach of the state champion Lake Taylor Titans. To see he and his group celebrating at Liberty University the thriller in double overtime, beating the Kettle Run Cougars 48-42. We say hello and congrats and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to Coach Hank Sawyer. Coach, thank you for coming on the program. I'm glad to know, A, that Ed didn't jinx you when you came on with us back on, what was that, Labor Day, I think it was, and B, Christmas came early for you this year, winning a championship that few could have ever envisioned.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me. Ed could never jinx me because he's one of my best friends, and he's a coach, just like me. So he never could jinx me. We don't believe in that.
There you go.
We believe preparation helps your opportunities.
But hey, first of all, congrats. Thanks for coming on. And you and I both know if anybody's going to jinx us, this knucklehead here, because he can screw up a one-car parade easily. So we already know that. He does his Fool in the Pool segments, which I'm hoping you haven't seen. And now he's singing on a lollipop and singing a lollipop song. And this is what I got to put up with. People don't realize what I have to go through. But right now, you're the focal point, and that's what's important right now. Congrats, and I hope you did have a great Christmas.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm sitting around the house with my Yorkie champion. He runs everything. His nickname is House Papa. My wife left about 30 minutes ago to go to basketball practice. Of course, he wanted to go with her. And people say, oh, why you always have a dog around you? And I tell them, every dog I've had, a German Shepherd, a Pit Bull, American Eskimo, and 2 Yorkies, and they all had the same philosophy. They was in your face, in your space. And that's how I coach football, just like that. They worse, and that's how I want my guys to play football. I want them to be worse for their opponent.
I like that because I've got a black lab, 11 years old. I had him since he was 6 months old, and when I come home from a game, mad, happy, or whatever, he keeps me grounded because all he cares about is, when am I eating and can I get outside? Because if I do the mess right here, it ain't my fault.
Exactly.
So he keeps grounded.
Well, let's dig into it because it just was announced the other day. In fact, congratulations to you, Coach of the Year, Keon Johnson, the Class 3 State Offensive Player of the Year. The numbers that these young men have put up for you have been just incredible. And Devon Powell, the Class 3 State Defensive Player of the Year. And people can check out some of those numbers. They're going to scroll across our ticker here in just a second here. But, Coach, from 3-7 to 13-2, and you've been through a lot off the field. We talked about it with Craig Brehan with Bethel earlier in the show on the basketball front, him with his health situation. You having the passing of a lot of close, dear ones, loved ones in your life the last couple of years here. And I know people have been saying, give it up, veteran guy. But to win this the way you did, the last 2 games to win it on touchdown passes of almost identical yardage on the final play through the air, and Lake Taylor's been known for its running game and its defense. How rewarding was this championship? I know they're all special, but of your 4 now to match your wife in girls basketball, you on the gridiron, how different was this one from the others?
Well, we didn't get any transfers in. Nobody wanted to be a part of us. We were 3-7, and people thought we stunk, and they all thought it started with me. And I take the blame for that. But we kept working. We kept working, and we kept lifting weights. We kept running. I kept talking. I kept telling the coaches, we got to coach these kids. They don't know how to play this game. These kids didn't play football because COVID was out there. So we have to teach them how to play this game from getting in the stands. And I saw the success. And I think I mentioned it to you, Matt, a couple of times. And, I know I'm an old guy. When I told people I thought we could be good, it was just, my friends were just kind of happy for me or just kind of encouraging me. But I don't think they believed it either. But I kept believing it, and I kept seeing it. I saw it in the weight room. I saw it on the field when we were rolling the big tire. And we just kept preaching technique, keep playing. We kept teaching love. Love is a word you don't hear a lot on the football field because, most of the time I'm telling guys you got to be violent with your hands. You got to be aggressive when you block. When you run, you got to run all over people. But love was all through this team. And what love does to a team, it makes people believe in each other. Players believe in coaches. Coaches believe in players. And fans believe in the team.
Pretty well said there. Now, I saw you back in August, I know I mentioned this to you, and you had a scrimmage with Nansemond River, and then you won your first game with Heritage and lost a close one to Hampton. How much did you see the progress from August to early September? Even when I saw you guys play Maury, who won a third consecutive state championship in Class 5. A lot of people don't know this, but you guys were tied with them with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's 14-all. We know how explosive and great that Maury team is. How much did you see this group getting better? And at what point did you believe in this journey that you were all capable of doing what you accomplished?
Every week when the JV was playing a game, the JVs this year had 10 games scheduled. Last year, I think we played about 3 games, and then we just didn't have enough kids. So Maury has the numbers. We didn't have the numbers. So I knew I had to get those JV kids to help me out and those freshmen to play special teams. I didn't say it a lot, but I had 18 freshmen on a 38-man team this year. So I kind of kept that a secret so people wouldn't kind of try to expose them. And when I saw the freshmen getting better and making plays in the game, I knew we had a chance.
Wow, 18 of 38 at freshmen. That's almost half the roster. Can you do that over there in basketball?
No, we couldn't play that. We couldn't have it comparable to basketball. I wouldn't be able to have that many freshmen. Over here in Smithfield, we don't have a middle school program. But what I'm interested in, Hank, is when you bring those freshmen on board in a high-level program such as your program is, championship caliber pretty much every year. Yeah, last year was a down year. If we're in the business, we're going to have those years. The key is how do we weather the storm? And I'm sure you preach the same thing I do. There's a difference between losing a game or a few games and then being losers.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't understand that, and there's no need to get into it. We know as coaches what that means and how we put that onto our players. Those freshmen, as you brought them through in this type of year, what were some of the challenges with those young kids in terms of more than half your team being freshmen?
Well, some of them weren't strong. They weren't used to lifting weights in season 2 to 3 times a week. They wasn't used to the amount of time that we asked. They had never watched film like we watch film intentionally. That's a part of our daily practice schedule. The first part of practice is either weights or film and then conditioning. So those 3 things right there were very challenging. They're even challenging for upperclassmen because we get the conditioning out. As soon as we get everybody at practice, let's get the conditioning out before somebody say they're tired, they're hurt, they got to leave early. And those freshmen, the upperclassmen made them buy into that. They saw that bond and they wanted to be a part of that. And the one thing we do, everybody looks alike, everybody dresses alike, everybody has on a nice sweatsuit, everybody has on a nice jersey. If you need cleats gonna be provided for you. And when those freshmen saw that, they just bought into it.
Now, in terms of using those freshmen, obviously we got to hear. I know you kept it a secret last year, but the secret's out now because you got a state title, and you just told us you had those freshmen. Who are some of those freshmen now who have kind of risen to the top? Maybe if you can rename a few names for next year. Let's look way down the road. Who to look out for?
Keon Freeman, he was a freshman that looks like a senior. He was about 6'2", about 175 pounds. He actually caught a couple of passes in the Petersburg game as well as the Magna Vista game that most quarterbacks not going to throw to a freshman. They got us a first down that we needed. He was pretty good. Another one that was pretty good was Keon Peterson. He was a defensive linemen that we moved all around to play special teams for us. And then one kid, Jamari Hopper, he was our holder and backup quarterback. His dad played for me and his uncle played for me. His uncle was the one that got killed in Arizona many years ago. And so those kids just made some plays for us, along with some other linemen. They all were freshmen. Hunter Jones, Terrion Craddock. They were kids that we could depend on, and they were kind of shocked that we were using them. And I would challenge them every day at practice. I was the mean guy because I was on those freshmen. Everybody kept saying, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, these guys. If we're to win, we're going to need these guys in the second season. And, they play special teams or play backup role, and a couple of them even end up starting for us. Keon Freeman ended up starting on both sides of the ball."
We're chatting with Hank Sawyer, head football coach of the VHSL Class 3 state champion Lake Taylor Titans, 13-2 on the season as they win at 48-42 over Kettle Run in double overtime. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Going from the freshmen to the seniors, because you're going to say goodbye to some awfully valuable players. Tell the audience what some of these guys meant, from the Keon Johnsons to the Devon Powells and those that went through the battles, because they really didn't have any playoff experience taste, except when they were freshmen. You guys lost to, I think it was Phoebus in the region finals, right? Ninth grade year?
Right, exactly. They were part of that. Keon Johnson was more playing linebacker last couple of years. Then last year he kind of came on as a running back. When I met this guy was 5'1", 180 pounds, and I kept saying, y'all need to get that kid out my face now. Come on now. I like kids, but he's not a running back. And of course, he kept getting in the running back line, and he proved me wrong. And this year, he was first-team All-State linebacker, as first-team All-State running back, and Offensive Player of the Year. He had 2,300 yards, 42 touchdowns. And he had 2 pick sixes on defense, 5 interceptions, and 38 tackles for loss. And he just was a freak out there. Devon Powell I moved him after the Hampton game, and I don't know if he was buying it, but he says, "Okay, let's go with it." I don't think he liked it. I moved him to outside linebacker, and he ended up being the defensive player of the year with 33 sacks. Levante Hill was an outside linebacker last year. I put him at defensive tackle because his first step was very, very, very powerful and very, very quick, and he ended up second team All-State. Then we had Zion Knight, a big tackle. We ended up putting him on defense. Didn't play defense much at all. Last year we put him on defense, and he made some crucial plays in his second season in the Petersburg, Magna Vista, and the Kettle Run game. Jeremiah Furby, he was a kid. Jeremiah is 5'7", 180 pounds. Jeremiah played nose guard, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, as well as a free safety. He could check you, or he was strong enough to get up under you. And those kids just made plays. And I challenge the coaches every day. I know I probably was my coach's nightmare. I challenge them every day. Don't stand around. Coach them up. Coach them up. I expect what I expect every day. I'm probably – coaches don't like me during the season, and players don't like me during the season. But God got our back. And wherever he leads me, I'll follow. And that's how I coach.
Absolutely. We got a question from one of our Twitter, or X, I guess you call it now, fans out there. And I'm not understanding the handle, so I'm just going to read the question for you. Coach, which championship game, I should say, of the 4 is most memorable? It's got to be the one that's most recent, right? Because you had some good ones. Stonebridge, Tuscarora, Salem. This one was the first to go to double OT, right? Well, the one with Salem that you lost, was that OT or double OT?
Double OT.
Double OT. Well, it's the first double OT that you won, right?
Yeah, but this one was special just because the other games, the record was there. I mean, people, pick who they wanted to pick, and then you have haters that don't want you to win. But those other ones, we kind of knew where we were going and what the goal was. But this one, only the players and the coaches bought into it. No one thought we were gonna win those games. And our motto was keep winning it. Keep winning it. Keep playing. Keep playing. At some point, you got to shorten the game. That's why we decided to run. You got to shorten it. You got to take time off the clock. And the crazy thing is, people think we can't throw the football. And if you look at our receivers' percentage of catching the ball when we needed to, it's something like 85% when we needed to go to them. And that's what's so important. You know, they caught the ball when we needed it. And, you know, everybody was playing the run, and we won the semifinals to get you to the state and the state championship game on the pass. You know, the option, the run really set it up. And all those guys, Majora Clark, he caught the ball when we needed it in the semifinals. And Kassan Hesslin caught the ball in the state championships. You know, I just saw the celebration there because I got soaking wet, so I was somewhere trying to dry off of the players and all. And that's the first time I saw that. And, you know, the one thing that I learned many years ago, Bobby Bowden, Florida State coach, came to a church right there in the Kinsville area. And I had a chance he signed, gave me a book he signed. And I was asking him about success. He says if he was a high school coach, he would run some kind of option. And he would always keep it quiet what he was doing. He said, because what you got to do is when all of them doubt you, you got to sneak in the back door. He said ain't nothing wrong with sneaking in the back door because by the time they realize you pretty good, it's too late.
Well, speak to that, and I'll let Ed follow up here because you guys run that twin veer at Lake Taylor. And I know you always use the phrase, help me with it. It's just like nobody can give it time it's going to work. But you've made some tweaks and some alterations during the years, too. But you've been able to evolve and adapt, but still stay to your true roots, correct?
Yeah, well, I've had to make some changes with a lot of it, even on defense. Now you never know when we're going to be in man or we're going to have a free safety or whatever. And the reason they had to make the changes because America in high school, college, and pros, they're so pass happy now. Everybody want to throw the football. But if you look at all those teams that won, Verona, Maury, you know, in the end, in the playoff games, state semifinals, in the finals, they ran the ball. They understand that you got to find some kind of way to shorten that game. And then that time of the year, the weather is not good for receivers catching the ball or the quarterback throwing it. And sometimes it's rainy out there. You get a bad center quarterback exchange. So I'm going to take what I honestly take what you give me. And that's my philosophy. I don't know if you're going to run it or throw it, but whatever you do, I'm going to try to make you do it fast.
Titans did that well, Ed. 13-2 on the season. 4th state championship for Hank Sawyer and his crew as they got the Class 3 crown in double overtime over Kettle Run. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, Hank, you know, much has been said about this championship year. And I remember telling Matt in August when we had one of our podcasts about who are teams maybe to watch for and like who didn't have a good year. And I made a comment that I thought Lake Taylor will be in that conversation. And if they can get hot at the right time, look for them to go into the state playoffs. I just believe that. And, you know, a lot of that's based on Hank Sawyer. You know, I don't know your kids and what you have, but I'm big on programs, you know, good programs, not highlight teams once in a while. And I know you have done that with your program, that you find a way to be involved in games. Speak to the situation where coming off the down year, and you've already kind of did it, but was there a game somewhere where when you went home, you said to Saundra, hey, we're going to win this thing. We definitely can win this. Was it a moment in practice, a conversation with some of the youngsters? Was there a particular point for you?
Well, after the Hampton High game, I thought that quarterback was the type of quarterback that was just, you know, unbelievable. He was good. He could throw it. He could run it. He could put a team on his back. And I felt like we didn't tackle him real well. Had we tackled him, we would have won that game. And every week, on Sunday when we met, and the coaches would watch film and they would give me the scout report, and they always tell me how good everybody quarterback was. And I was always say, is he as good as Hampton High's quarterback? And they would say, well, no. I said, well, we're going to be all right then, because I thought that kid was phenomenal. Woodrow don't even know it, but I went to see him a few games just to watch his quarterback. So after the Hampton High game, I thought, you know, we could be pretty good. We just got to break this thing down and coach these kids up. We needed to scratch where it itches. And we did tackling drills, Ed, every day, even pregame practices the day before. with helmet and shoulder pads on. Even when we went to up in Charlottesville, in practice, at Albemarle High School, we did tackle drills out there. Their coach was looking at us, had shoulder pads and helmets on, and he was like, wow, I've never seen that before. Well, you got to do, it's just like basketball. You got to keep doing things on habit. You just can't take a break because tackling is so important. So I thought we improved on the tackling. I already knew that the running game was unbelievable. And those offensive linemen I had, there were some mean, athletic, physical kids. So I knew they had my back. And every game, we never got shut out. Even the Maury game, when it was Keon Johnson, Furby popped a nice 72-yarder. And we took some chances in that game because we fumbled the ball or we got behind. And that game helped us as well,
Well, all 5 returning offensive linemen was a big deal for you because this, Coach, the games are won in the trenches. And it felt like even as you played some explosive teams at the end in Magna Vista State Semis, Kettle Run State Championship, teams that were high-powered, your line of scrimmage as the game slowed down at the end, you could control things up front. Did you get that sense as well? Were you confident about that?
Yes, and I have 3, well, actually 4, because one kid, when somebody was hurt, he started over 5 games. So I have 5 offensive linemen returning. And they've already proven. And I got a quarterback that's Kevin Adams. Wow, he can read the veer, he can throw it, and even important, he had 12 interceptions to lead this area at free safety. He was first team All-State at defensive back, second team quarterback. So I have about half of the kids coming back, and that's why I feel pretty good. The only thing that's been bothering me, it got me designing rings and jackets and hoodies, and I know it's Christmas time, and I keep saying, man, we got to get back in the weight room because the good Lord put eyes in front of your head to see where you're going, not where you've been. And so we got to get in that weight room and get ready for next year.
Well, that brings me to what I'm going to bring up here with you next year. As we're talking with Coach Hank Sawyer, the VHSL Class 3 State Coach of the Year of the Titans from Lake Taylor. His Offensive Player of the Year, Keon Johnson, Defensive Player of the Year, Devon Powell. They win at 48-42 over Kettle Run in double OT, 13-2. Only the blemishes were against Hampton in a close game. We got the number 1 seed in Region 4A and Maury, who won a 3rd consecutive state championship in Class 5 at 757 Sports Talk. I see $50, $_$ says out there on Instagram. Wish I could put the IG comments on the screen, Coach. Hank, much respect. This is head coach from Armstrong, says Jeremy Pruitt. Kenny Painter and Lamont Brent told me so much about you. And you're a student of the game, Coach. I know you always follow the football closely all over the state, and you take pieces of different things you've watched in the 757 or all over and implement in your own program, don't you?
Yeah, well, I take whatever you got. I let you know I'm here to steal what you got. And even in basketball, I'll go to 25, 30 basketball games and watch my wife. I even told her that we're gonna come to Smithfield because there's 2 people I need to see. I need to see Ed Young and I need to see Darryl. So we're gonna go to Smithfield in one of his games one of these nights and get us some barbecue from over there and just enjoy life. But I watch football all over the state, and I honestly, my mind is still really, really sharp in football. And you should see the emails that I've received or text messages that coaches all over the state want to talk to me. Just want to pick my brain because, what we do, a lot of people like. And the greatest thing about it, we do it with a few kids. We had 38 players. We had 38 players and about 14 coaches and get it done. And I tell you what, I don't know how many coaches' wives around them when they're watching film. My wife watching it, she's making suggestions, and sometimes I don't want to hear it. So now I just put her on the sideline. And her and Coach Mike James, they 2 of the best with that iPad, showing us what just happened and all. I don't have the patience to go back and look at the iPad. So they find that stuff for me. And my coaching staff, Santonio Jones, Sean Banks, James Bond, God, I don't want to leave nobody out, Des Palmer, B.J. Moore, Clarence Clanton, I brought David Floyd and Anthony Church out of retirement. They come out there and help me with the defense because those old guys, they say we old, but trust me, we got something to give the sport. And our state championship, it's good for the school and it's good for the players, but it's good for all you old coaches out there like me that people keep doubting us to let us know we still got some gas in the tank.
And reward these kids, Ed, that win state championships across the board, whether it's Oscar Smith in Class 6, Maury in Class 5, Verina in Class 4, Strasburg in Class 2, Rappahannock in Class 1, and, of course, the Titans of Lake Taylor in Class 3. They all have to raise money for rings and jackets. And, Coach, I want you to talk about this a little bit and educate Ed, fill him in here. Maybe he'll empty out his pocket and be an extra Santa Claus for you. You got some Lake Taylor tumblers people can get. You got them in silver, gray, white. I like these. And it's good to have these. Put your coffee in, your cocoa, whatever beverage you have, drink, and you can help out the Titans raise the money for the rings and jackets. Pretty cool.
I mean, the rings and jackets are very expensive, and Norfolk Public Schools doing their part in it. And so I'm doing my part. I'm asking our coaches and our fans to sell. It's really hard for me to ask the kids to sell for a ring or a jacket, but when they've done everything that I asked them to do, from 100 degrees in the summer till 30 degrees in the winter, late fall, cold. I can't ask them. And I'm asking people to get up there, buy a tumbler, make a donation, and just show the kids, even if you don't care for me, you can show the kids love. Show them love. The tumblers are about $35, and you got something. It's got the state championship, the 4 we won, and the Titan logo on it. And it would be wonderful if you could support us. That would be great. And my number is 757-692-3200. If you want to support, it doesn't go to me. It goes to the Titan Booster. We got a booster organization, football booster club, that takes care of all of that money. Give you a tax write-off and all of that. We have all of that for you. So I would love for those kids to get a really nice ring, a hoodie, and a state championship jacket, because we have to reward those kids, and we have to let them know in this world, if you work hard, you will get your reward. And that's what that ring will do, and that's what your support will do.
Really cool. Which one you like best, Ed? You like the gray, the black, or the white there? Which one you going with for your tumbler?
Well, unfortunately, because my phone is not doing what I want it to do, I can't see the tumblers if you have them. But because it's Hank Sawyer, and it is another title, well-deserved, and after a tough year when we had some of those naysayers say, Hank, you need to step aside and let the young people step in. And I'm glad how he stood up to it too. I'm going to get me a tumbler, but Hank, you're going to have to sign it, which probably means I need to get the white one.
Okay.
But I want you to.
I'll send you the thing, and then when I come to Smithfield, I'll sign it, because trust me, I'm coming to Smithfield one of your games. My wife, she steals so much of your stuff that you don't even have any idea on basketball stuff. She sees your stuff online with the games. She steals it. Now, the one thing I will give her credit and me credit, when we steal a play or something, we either call it that school or whoever that coach that we stole it from. So we give you the name of whatever we take from you.
You can just be careful taking each year. We're struggling a little bit at 2 and 4, but my kids they're in there working. It's a new bunch. I've got a lot of new coaches that I have to teach the coaches as well as the players. And 3 of our 4 losses, we were in the game up to about the last minute. Some of them with 2 3-point games where we're just making mistakes at the end.
Yeah, I think I saw that a few times. Trust me, I follow you. Every night I'm watching somebody or trying to get a score.
Well, like I said, I appreciate it, because us oldsters got to stick together, because people like this nut job here trying to make us do other things and let the young guys take over. all I say to that is, and I don't brag, I'm lucky to get 500 wins. And I say to some people that are my naysayers, which if I do talk to them, you'll be lucky to coach 500 games, let alone win 500. Exactly. And I leave it at that. And I leave it at that at this day and age. And like I said to Matt, when you start listening to people that sit in the stands, you're going to sit next to them. Right now, I got the best seat, so I'm just going to keep it where it is. But no, I definitely want to challenge. I'm going to challenge other coaches, veteran coaches in the area. I'm getting me a tumbler. I'm going to put that $35 down, because I know how tough it is to get rings. Back in the day, you could do it where maybe the city or the school district said, hey, that's extra for state title. We're going to get it for you. Those days are long gone. Yes. But I do hope the city of Norfolk steps up. I'll do, like I said, I'll do my part, but I'll challenge other coaches in that to support you, Hank, in terms of being in the game and doing what's right. We got some veteran coaches who go to the other side, so to speak. They start recruiting. They look for shortcuts because their insecurities is great. I don't feel that way about Hank Sawyer. You went through a tough year. You didn't go out and try to bring in players from all over the place. You brought in a bunch of freshmen, and you said, this is how we're going to do it. You made your tweaks because I think as a veteran coach, we have to bend a little with the times, but we ain't breaking. And if they can't stay up to what we want, it's the old Wendy's philosophy. Who's next? Because we'll go to the next person. That's that simple. So hey, count on me for one of those tumblers. And I definitely want you to sign it.
Thank you, Ed. And my advice to you, if I can say anything, you don't have to be good now. You got to be good when the playoffs start. And that was my philosophy during the regular season. We kept trying to get better. I got to be better. We had to be good in November when the playoffs start, and you got to be good at the end of February.
Exactly. We got to peak, and we'll get these teams a second time around, and and it's funny because you mentioned something that the kids weren't used to, and like you got pads and helmets on pregame day, or we instituted here like games where we have a game where there's no school. I told the kids, okay, we'll be in at 10 in the morning. Coach, we have a game today. I said, I know, but you're going to be in here at 10 in the morning. We have what we call pregame practice.
Okay.
Go through our stuff and whatever. But let me tell you this, don't come in here with an attitude that we're not doing nothing, because I've been known on those particular days to run a 2.5 hour regular practice because I'm irritated because our mind's not where it should be. And I have some stories along those lines for another time, but they were like, wow. And, that's just part of the newness of a program. This is how we're going to do it. And I take that out of Hank Sawyer's book.
Before we let you run, Coach, we thank you so much for coming on the program and give the audience a chance to how they can locate those tumblers and also help with your fundraiser to get these youngsters their deserved state championship memorabilia, if you will, their jackets, their rings, their hoodies. I also want to put up on the screen and let you chat about it briefly and fill the audience in. We showed a little graphic a second ago about the happy holidays there. And I mentioned it earlier in our segment that it's been a tough couple of years here, losing your mom and the likes of coaches such as former Lake Taylor coaches like Bert Harrell, Billy Morrow, Theo Ford, who was a longtime assistant of yours, and even John White, a good close friend of yours at Bayside, who I know you worked out with the last couple of off seasons. What's kept you going and kept you after it? Because I know it could have been easy for you to throw in the towel at some point.
Well, my faith, all those guys, Coach Ford used to be my prayer partner, and John White was my fraternity brother, and we were close. We were closer than people realized because we worked out, at least once a week from March on till June, and we scrimmaged each other, and and my mom and Coach Ford's son and Bert and Billy Morrow was with me the first day I walked into Lake Taylor, and Bert Harrell, he hired me. I said I got my job, and losing those guys was really tough because I could always call those guys if they weren't out there and get advice from them, and I didn't realize it till the last couple of years. My mama did more for me than I did for her, even when she was sick in her last years, but she was always talking to me and encouraging me. And my wife did that Christmas thing, and she put those names up there. And Kettle Run and Magna Vista just didn't know it. But in both of those games, I had those angels. All of them was looking down on me. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart, And I tell everybody, nothing is as good as it seems. Nothing is as bad as it seems. Somewhere between, reality falls.
Well put. Well, congratulations to you and these hardworking young men from the Lake Taylor Titans who are state champions. Again, if folks want to get the tumblers, tell the audience how they can do so. I know you have a fundraiser online.
It's online. And if you click on my dog, there's a picture of my dog, Champion. If you click on him, you can order a tumbler. And the thing about the tumbler, it'll come. You'll give me your address. It'll come right to your house. They'll mail it right to your house, so you don't have to come to me to pick it up. And once again, it's 757-692-3200. If you have any problems, please reach out to me because I want to make this thing happen for these kids because they bought in to what we said as an adult, and I want to show them that an adult's going to return that favor.
Fantastic. Well, again, we'll have a link up for fans as well that won't be able to find it. Click it directly. They can go right to it and they can see it. So thank you so much again. Congratulations. It's so richly deserved for you and your kids and your coaches for all the hard work, and a happy new year. I'm sure we'll be chatting in 2026, and we'll have to see if you can give us a live report, you and the wife out there, when you got to Smithfield, out, tell us how to barbecue it.
We already said we're going, because I remember when I told her that Nazareth River they went their separate ways. She doesn't like Nazareth River anymore. Ed, you need to know this, Ed. She didn't even want me to scrimmage them because of what they had did to you when we needed that scrimmage. She said, "No, we're not scrimmaging there. Let me find you somebody."
Tell her I love her for that, and really appreciate it. But like I said, that's past history. And like you said, eyes are in front of my head, not behind. I'm a Smithfield Packer right now. We're going to take care of business here. So,
and I love Smithfield. I know some people over there, some great people. So,
well, you get up here. We got to get you some of that barbecue.
Oh yeah, it's good barbecue. Yes.
Coach, have a great one, and we'll chat with you in 2026. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Enjoy.
Thanks for our guest here from the state champion Lake Taylor Titans. We got more coming your way, including NFL picks. You're watching